Hey, Dr. Mike here. So you want to live forever-ish? Well, you got to know what's in and what's not. Stay tuned to find out.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, welcome to Live Foreverish, the ins and outs of living foreverish. Long, strong, vibrant. What's our motto?
Living a little bit stronger and a
whole lot longer.
whole lot longer.
We'll get it down someday, but that's basically it. Yeah. So I love this is a great show. This is it's one of our fan favorites. So let's just get right into this. In number one,
Magnesium L-Threonate. You know, we're always looking at the research. What's new? We had one of the research scientists who was on our show. We did a full deep dive on Magnesium L-Threonate. You know, you can head to Live Foreverish or our YouTube channel to watch that full show. And she gave us some teasers about research that was in the works, what we could potentially look out for later. And she talked about sleep. Now, I don't know if this was the study that she referenced.
Yeah.
But this study is all about sleep, specifically deep sleep with Magnesium L-Threonate. And
I remember
we
that.
wanted to touch on it.
Yeah, I remember that because I think it was more towards the end. And I asked her, when do you take your magnesium? And she said, I take it at night. And she went into the sleep stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and her own personal experience with it. I've been, for a long I stopped taking it because I forgot to buy some. But I was taking it for a very long time at night too, and I can also confirm it is good for sleep.
All right, so this was an August 2024 study published in the journal Sleep Medicine X, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, parallel arm, and it was a 21-day study. About 40 participants received 1,000 milligrams of magnesium L-Threonate, 40 received a placebo.
There, yeah. And so 21 days, right?
21 days.
Yeah, 21 days. And so at the end of the day, and this is from the study. I'm going to read this.
Okay.
Better. Well, first of all, there's better deep sleep and rapid eye movement sleep scores, which is really important overall. And what this is relating to is the fact that deep sleep is the most restorative and rejuvenating sleep stage. So anything that's improving that is living foreverish.
That's right, Dr. Mike. That's so true. And what makes this really nice, and I'm not going to get on a whole kick on this, but you talk about it often, how the medications, you may sleep, but it's not quality sleep. Some of the common sleep medications.
They knock you out, and you're not going through those stages that you need to go through.
Right. Yeah. And the other great thing about this study was they used objective and subjective measurements. So of course, how you feel about the way you slept is one component, but they also use sleep trackers.
Yeah. And
the sleep trackers were capturing the sleep quality that improved. Daytime mood activity improved. I thought that was funny. They reported that they were less grouchy and had less anger.
Well, that's always a very good thing.
That's great for everyone, not just you.
Yeah,
the
that's
people
great for everyone
you.
around you. Your family and friends probably noticed.
I know.
You started getting more invites to things. Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. No, and by the way, I do my melatonin too still. So I do the magnesium threonate once I buy the bottle again, and I do my melatonin. What? We all forget things.
Yes.
And it's a great combination.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Magnesium
L-Threonate. All right, number 2. Love it, love it, love it. I just had some amazing seaweed salad the other day. Love it. Oh, it was so good. Seaweed is in for living forever-ish.
That's right. And people really aren't eating as much as they should, in my opinion. I know I send seaweed to school with my daughter.
Now you setting the dried
the dried seaweed snacks.
I love that stuff.
Which is nori, but it's seaweed. It's a type of algae. There's green, there's brown, there's red, many varieties, and is used in many types of Asian dishes. Primarily.
That's where I got this from, and it was a really nice, bright. It was I don't know if by the time they prepare it, if the color maybe changes a little bit in the seaweed. I don't know, but it was nice and green. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that's some green variety of seaweed, right? I don't know, but just had that nice touch of like Asian dressing, not too much, not too salty. Right there, it was really good.
It's because sometimes it's a little sweet for me.
It could be a little sweet and even a little salty because it's how a lot of those kind of dressings are made in Asian countries, right?
Yeah.
So you have to you can make your own, by the way, and you can then adjust your salt and sugar.
I've never, but that's what you do, Dr.
I do.
Mike.
I play around with
that's your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what's used in the seaweed salad, that is kelp, or a kelp species. But you have different kinds that's used as a base for ramen soups, and of course the type that's used to wrap your sushi.
Yeah. And that's probably where most Americans get it, right? I mean,
Right.
I think, if you like sushi, you're getting some seaweed there. We just need more of it. Why? What's the whole point? First of all, minerals.
Yeah, they're absorbing minerals and other trace elements from the seawater, and utilize them for metabolism. Of course, iodine.
Yeah.
Needed for your thyroid, for energy production, and it's jam-packed.
Yeah.
With iodine.
And then you got protein, a decent source, right? There's fiber. And a form of that is, there's fiber, and then there are polysaccharides. And one of those, I think it's a polysaccharide, is fucoidan.
Yes, it's a
Or
type
fucoidan.
of...
How do you say it? Fucoidan. I don't know.
Well, I think fucoidan.
Fucoidan,
yeah. But there's also omega-3s, omega-6, polyphenols. And so people, when you think about eating your veggies, they don't think about sea veggies.
And we should, because they are incredibly sustainable. There's tons of it out there. It grows easy. We can harvest it easy now. And we got to start thinking about that. More and more people are on this planet. How are we preparing for future generations, food sources, sustainability? And so this is something that I would love to see more people eat. Real quickly, the fucoidan, if you remember a few years ago, gained a lot of attention for its anti-aging properties.
Yes.
The longevity
Very
aspect.
True.
And I don't know where that's at today. I didn't keep up with it, but there was a time when most longevity researchers felt that was the key compound. In seaweed.
Right. Well, that's the key compound that you see that's responsible for the longevity in many of the Japanese individuals and Asian.
Living long, all that kind of stuff.
Long lifespans.
There you go. Get some seaweed
and
in.
health spans.
I think I'm going to have some
Remember?
of that. I'm going to have some of that I'm already
It's not just about living longer.
I'm already done with that. I'm
stronger.
thinking about my seaweed salad.
That sounds good.
Crunchy. So crunchy and vibrant when you eat it. All right, moving on to number 3. Oh, I'm going to hear what you have to say about this.
All righty.
L-Cysteine.
So I'm going to tell you, I was drawn to this study for 2 reasons. It's anything that can help vitamin D work better.
Love
in the body.
Right there. You've got me listening.
Absorbed better, be metabolized better. My radars go up. Ding, 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 ding.
I like it.
Also,
That's your.
the study.
Is that what your radar sounds like?
Yes. Okay. Also, this study, the participants were African American, and I'm African American. So to see research with the community, with many health disparities, and we do know that low vitamin D is prevalent, usually due to the darker complexion, the melanin kind of blocking that production of the vitamin D. It just really stood out, and it's giving us more clues and insight on. It's not just about the one nutrient. You kind of have to look at getting a variety and
that's how the body works, right? The body we often find out these things don't act in isolation. They're not acting in a vacuum. They're acting and influencing many other different compounds. It's an orchestra of metabolism and metabolic pathways.
Yes, it
Something
is.
Like that.
and so the participants, when you just kind of look at the design, there were 4 groups. One group received only L-Cysteine, an amino acid, 1,000 milligrams. Another group received vitamin D only, 2,000 IUs. The next group received vitamin D with the L-Cysteine, and then the last group was the placebo. And they were analyzing total free vitamin D, insulin markers, testosterone markers of inflammation, other factors, and this was 6 months.
And so participants who received the vitamin D with the L-Cysteine, that group specific, that arm, had significantly less insulin resistance, higher levels of free and total testosterone, lower levels of CRP, inflammation, while vitamin D binding protein and and also vitamin D binding protein and hemoglobin A1C.
Right, so more of that vitamin D is just available for your
around
tissue.
More. Yeah, it's floating around more.
If it's bound, it can't really kind of get into the cells and do its job.
It's a hormone.
Right.
Yeah, we always have to remember that vitamin D at least is thought of as a pro-hormone, but regardless, it's fatty.
Yeah.
It needs help getting around the aqueous blood.
Yeah, it's a transporter.
Just like all of the hormones do. They all have these binding proteins or globulins and stuff like that. There's different names. And sometimes those binding proteins just don't want to give them up. And so now you got decent levels of vitamin D, but they're not in the tissue.
That's right.
So we want to see free binding protein, meaning that vitamin D is offloading, right? That's how it works.
Yep. So L-Cysteine, something to add in with your vitamin D.
So simple.
I know.
Simple little things.
Most people take it for immunity anyway.
Yeah.
And liver health.
Well, hey, this could be maybe in the future we're going to start seeing vitamin D L-Cysteine combos.
We love the nutrient pairs, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Why don't we come up with that? Our sponsor, Life Extension. We'll let product development
We'll let them know.
All right. Now we're going to go into the out. Now, for Living Foreverish, these are the things that are going to maybe get in your way a little bit, inhibit obstacles of living foreverish, right?
Being stronger.
A little longer, a whole lot stronger. Right? I got it.
Yes.
I got it right. And so this out has to do with sugar and artificial sweeteners, specifically being used in coffee, which is probably, when you look at American consumption of coffee, that's probably where, like the artificial stuff, that's probably where it's used the most, I would assume.
Yeah, I guess, yes, for beverages, sugar, artificially sweetened beverages, coffee, of course, the sodas.
Yeah, the diet versions and stuff.
Yes, I won't say any name brands, but yes, the artificially sweetened Kool-Aid versions. So we already know there's excess sugar is an issue, and we have to be careful. And Dr. Crystal and I have said this over and over again. It's not that sugar in and of itself is, but you need it for life. Right.
It's the excess sugar that we're getting that makes it hard for the body to keep up with the metabolism. That's where you start getting some issues, in consequences of that. It's excess amount, right?
Correct.
So we already know there's an issue there. We already know artificial sweeteners, probably not the best things to be put in your body. So why are we now talking about this?
Yeah,
as
these are guides of how do you have your coffee? I mean, personally, I have my coffee in the morning with cream. We've been drinking half and half. We found a grass milk half and half that we buy, and that's what we use. But what was shocking here, Dr. Mike, is the sugar. If you put sugar in your coffee, and this was a review from data from 3 large groups of cohorts of people.
Okay.
And they reported, it was self-reported coffee consumption, self-reported additive use, and incident of type 2 diabetes. And there was an inverse relationship between the consumption of coffee and diabetes, and that relationship, when sugar was added, the association was weakened, meaning, and artificial sugar.
Right.
So if you drank coffee, you added sugar or you added artificial sweeteners to your coffee, you had an increased incidence of developing type 2 diabetes.
Okay, yeah. So which now is negating the actual health benefit on sugar levels from just coffee by itself.
Correct. And
Yeah.
you did not see that change or that decrease in the benefit that you would typically get from the coffee with the cream.
Yeah.
So the cream was fine.
So so the way you do it is fine.
So that's why I was like, oh yeah, that's how we have our coffee anyway. That just
we wouldn't
kind
be
of
talking about this if the
confirmed.
cream showed the same as the sugar.
We would, Dr. Mike. I'm able to kind of adjust,
Yeah.
course correct if I find that there's research.
I have been nothing but a black coffee drinker from day one. I don't add anything. And I do my espresso shots now.
Now I'll do a espresso that way.
Yeah.
But my coffee, I think it's just fond memories. I think of my grandpa when I was,
food memories.
6 or 7.
Those are powerful.
And drinking
Yeah.
his coffee when I shouldn't have been, and I would
Little
go over
sips
and like,
instead,
Granny,
yeah.
can I have some?
That's really cute. Yeah, there you go. So, just be mindful of what you're putting in, right?
Yes.
We're not, maybe try to do less or something, figure that out. And there's other ways to sweeten it, right? There's other stevias, there's monk fruits, there are other sources that still may end up being some sugar, but not near as much as just pure sugar, right? Okay, so, all right, there you go. There's your 3 ins and 1 out for living forever-ish. Fantastic information. By the way, if you go to liveforeverish.com, there are tons more episodes that you can download, like, share, comment, and review. Need
Yes.
those reviews.
And subscribe.
And subscribe so you never miss a show at liveforeverish.com. And then our sponsor, Life Extension, wants to say thank you with a special 10% off discount at lifeextension.com. Just type in
podcast.
and you'll get 10% off $50 or more plus free shipping and handling at lifeextension.com. I'm Dr. Mike. That's
Dr. Crystal.
Thanks for listening.